Family, toxic family members. Your life starting from scratch. Baby, your life is starting from scratch. And you took the choice to be brave and you decided to leave your toxic family members behind. And a lot of times in Native communities, in Black communities, we're taught, oh, family is everything. Family is everything. It's indoctrinated in us. It's almost like brainwashed into us. That is some toxic-ish, okay? That is one of the worst advices you can ever get from families. Like literally, there is no healthy boundaries in Native communities. There's no healthy boundaries. We're not brought up in healthy boundaries. And it does come from a sense of intergenerational trauma. So please start normalizing cutting off toxic family members. You know, the nosy auntie that you hear from once every decade who just happened to see something that kind of like she was spying on your FB profile and she decided to be nosy and hollers at you just to be nosy. Kind of like, but yet when your dog died, yet when your sister passed away, crickets. Okay, crickets. But it's just like when something, ooh, why is she in South Africa? Or, ooh, why is she in a picture with Rick Ross? It's just like, you know what I mean? Like when you're dazzling, when you're shining, when you're making money moves, when you're moving mountains with the help of God, it's like that's when these, you know, nosy family members who had nothing to do with your demise, if anything, they tried to destroy you in the past, all of a sudden come out of the woodwork. Okay, it's kind of like Bobby Boucher on Waterboy when his dad comes out of nowhere and all of a sudden claims him. It's like Sha'Carri Richardson when her mom of 12 came out of nowhere and was trying to claim Sha'Carri Richardson. It's like, okay, slow your roll, stay where the fuck you were in the shadows. Stay where you are, stay where you were in the shadows, legit, okay? So we gotta start normalizing and making discussions on toxic family members. I have declined so many family reunions because I just feel uncomfortable with sexual abuse that was normalized in my family, on my mother's maternal side. And this is a huge reason why I declined a lot of family functions in the last little while, not counting that my mother, my grandmother, who I take in this life as my mother, tried to give me all of the life insurance for the whole entire year before she passed away. Kept on trying to force me to sign the papers to be the sole keeper of all of the dollars, like all of the money, all of her estate, everything, to be the person with all the cash. She didn't want to give any money to her kid, like other 8 kids. And this was a fact. And my mother up in heaven is a witness. And I kept declining and kept declining. She told me, baby, I want you to go back to law school. You're the one that's going to change the mix. So I was hated, and I knew I was hated from a young age because my uncles and aunties would always say some slick, back-ended, mean things to me growing up, like, oh, all you care about is this kid, all you care about is this kid. I took every single opportunity growing up and I ran with it. Unlike you, victim, I chose not to be a victim. I chose to either way, shape, or form with my stubborn life to try to be the best that I could be. Same with on my father's side. So that's my mother's side, and same with on my father's side, jealousy. And that was just the way it is. That's the way I was brought up. Jealousy from, now let's move on to the community. Jealous from both of my communities that I grew up in. Jealous from the cities that I grew up in back in my state. Because you can't be too gorgeous. You can't be 5'10", athletic, gorgeous, beautiful, statuesque looking, light. You're gonna have demons. You're gonna have, baby, you can't be too beautiful and bright in this world when you grow up in the hood or the village or the ghetto, because you're gonna have a target on your back saying, get this bitch. Demonic entities will definitely whisper into your family members that are very unhealed and are on that frequency and tell them to snake on you. Okay, because our relatives are unhealed. Our family members and our childhood family friends are very unhealed. So when you're at that low energy constantly, that low episodes of constant victim story, victimization, and you get cozy with that thought formation that you have grooved in your mind, because we can ungroove ourselves from that shallow aspect, but they choose to stay there. It's a choice. We have something called a free will choice. So what our toxic family members and childhood friends, or just community members that don't even know you, tend to do is be in a low frequency 24/7, and they let the jealous thoughts overtake their life. That's not an abundance mindset. That's a lack mindset, okay? God is abundance. God, source, God, love is a frequency of abundance. There's no need to be a poverty mindset, okay? There's enough for everybody. So what they tend to do, the dark ones, is tend to whisper in your childhood friends' ears, your family's ears, like, oh, hate on her, or do this to her. Take advantage of her kindness. Take advantage of her kind, loving, beautiful heart. Be mean to her. Say she's so nice. Say this slick stuff to her. Because she's so nice, she won't defend herself. I used to be a yes girl. I used to always be so generous, so loving, and always saying yes to everybody. Yes, yes, yes. I just was always so kind and lovingly nice all the time. Very naive, very rose-colored glasses. I still am. Okay, let's keep it real. I still am very kind-hearted, very loving, very beautifully. I try to be a walking prayer for the sake of God. I try to turn this world into a beautiful, better place. I truly believe this world is a beautiful, happy place, and there's so much abundance around us. So I choose to walk in God's grace. And no matter what happened to me growing up, like, I've been jumped so many times. I've been jumped multiple occasions. Like 4 or 5 times in my life. 5 times I've been jumped. I've got into scraps. I can't even count on all. I've gotten to like 30 scraps. I don't know, lots, like fucking lots. I'm not even lying, with family members, my uncles, my aunties, my older cousins, my own, this doesn't count, but my mom's a G, okay? My mom's a gangster, and she definitely checked my ass. So that's probably where I get it from. I'm a strong bitch like her, okay? So I never lost one fight in my life. I never lost one fight in my life, okay? I never did. So yeah, so definitely understand, baby, that it's okay to cut out toxic family members. It's okay to say no to family functions that do not serve you. It's okay to cut people out, siblings, and it's tough. It's like you are starting a new life. You are starting a new chapter. It's like you're a baby born again. And that's a beautiful thing. You really got to look at this new chapter of your life unfolding as a beautiful, gorgeous new thing and opportunity in your life, because God loves you and you love yourself, and you walked into your power and you chose to heal your lineage, to heal your children, to not have the influences of toxicity, normalizing violence, normalizing sexual abuse, normalizing any type of abuse for that matter. Even emotion, I would say verbal abuse is way worse than physical abuse, because I would rather take 30 lickings than to be told I'm a piece of shit that's never gonna end up nowhere with 30 kids. No one's gonna want me because of the color of my skin. I'm just gonna be another mixed girl on welfare, another native girl on welfare. So definitely I would rather get 30 lickings than to be verbally abused like that. And that's how folks get Stockholm syndrome, because they're growing up around very toxic aunties and uncles. Even your own parents are your worst enemies. We're born with parents that are sometimes our worst enemies, where we have to learn how to break the chains of bondage, where we have to break free from them. Literally, Rapunzel was based on a true story. Disney's Rapunzel was based on a true story, based on an evil mother. And it's true. A lot of our worst enemies we're born with. A lot of our worst enemies are sociopaths that take on the demonic ones. For example, my birth mom. My birth mom definitely is an entity. My mom had to step out when she was little because she was always sexually abused. And when she steps out, something dark stepped in. Now her body, her vessel's taken over from a dark entity. A lot of people are walking around in these vessels of bodies, and they're not even walking around in them. And of course, demonic ones want to hash out the light. That's their goal in this life, literally, is to hash out the light. So when they see any type of chance to snake on somebody or to leech onto somebody, they look like slugs. I've seen it in my psychic ways. I've seen the way demons will leech onto folks and stuff. Whatever you believe in, just take what resonates in this video. But I will see how they leech on and they whisper things into people and tell them to snake on folks, or take the opportunity to snake on this opportunity to be vile and jealous in this blah, 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 blah. And it just, that's the way it goes. You know what I mean? Look at Selena Alentinos. Like, come on. Like, look at Aaliyah. Look at all of the great ones who were snaked on and now walk in the spirit world. Like, shine bright, shine bright, shine bright like a diamond. Still shine bright. Do not let the ugly of the world try dim your sparkle. The best way to do this is you do have to face the facts, and you do have to leave toxic family members behind. And no, it does not have to be a bitter thing, running into the sunset. It just has to be bless them with love, because there's been so many deceptions, there's been so much betrayals. You're done with that shit, and it's like kicking a dead horse at this point. It's like kicking a dead horse. It's like, just love them and bless them on their journey. Don't give them your address if it's that bad. Like, I do not give my mother's side, a lot of my aunties, my address, because they jacked me up and robbed me as a teenager. But yes, so definitely do what you got to do. Change your numbers. It's starting over. You're starting over essentially, and it is painful because you're grieving the loss of your old self. You're grieving the loss of your old life. But as you shed these old frequencies that just abuse you, use you, manipulate you, and hate on you, you make way for more light energies, more happiness, more respectful relationships. I didn't even know what respectful relationships were until I left home and I started to see. Okay, I'm gonna keep it real. White folks with healthy relationships, like white folks with healthy families that normalized healthy relationships and healthy boundaries was a huge thing. Honesty, communication was my white friends growing up that taught me communication is key. They taught me that no matter how uncomfortable the communication is, you need to be comfortable having uncomfortable conversations. And this was taught to me from my white friends and modeling their white families. I really understand when you're starting over in this life, or when you want to make your life better, sometimes it is essential to start admitting that your family is what's holding you back. Toxic family members. Like I said, you don't have to hate them or wish them death. Just make space. Bless them on their journey, forgive them, use those forgiveness exercises, because forgiveness is the key to keeping you young forever. Forgiveness is making a lot of money. You'll make a lot of money when you forgive everything in your past. And just forgiving and releasing them with love, blessing them on their journey and going on your own journey. And you'll notice your life will start to get better. You'll notice your life will start to get happier. You'll notice your life will become more energetically aligned to the people, places, and things and environments that God is trying to bless you with. In order for your prayers to come true, God wants to align you at the highest frequency. He can't align you if you're down in the dusty dirt, dusty, musty ass frequency of hate, living with these people, okay? All right? So it's essential to start admitting that, it's obviously your toxic ass family that holds you back. And sometimes for the sake of your self-love and your life and your children's and their children's children, you do have to cut toxic family members off. And it's just a way of life, okay? It's just usually what happens. It's not a way of life, but it's usually what happens. Look at fucking Simba and his uncle Scar. Like, it's been happening since time immemorial.